Another episode of On the Road with the Loan Signing System. I'm here with Eugene, who is a $2,600 a month part-time signing agent. When I say that, Eugene, how does that feel?
Pretty empowering.
It's a good word, empowering. What makes this interview inspiring is Eugene is 21 years old and a full-time college student, and he's making $2,600 a month. This is absolutely incredible. I can't wait to tell your story, Eugene. Are you ready to inspire some people right now?
I can only hope so, yeah. Let's do it. I'm absolutely ready. I'm absolutely ready.
I love it. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's speak to another 21-year-old college student, right? So let's talk about that a little bit. Tell me about your story real quick. So you're a full-time college student. Where do you go to school?
So I'm in Southern California. I go to Cal State Northridge, and my journey's I think it's pretty humble. I was honestly looking to get more money because I had a part-time job. I was a notary for 2 years before I became a loan signing agent, but it wasn't paying as much, and I have law school applications in the fall. So my whole thing was I needed to find a way to make additional income, and I was googling how to make additional income, and one of the things that came up was your interview, Mark, with Calvin. And I found that interview really inspiring because even though he had graduated from college, he was still around my age as well. So the idea that someone as young and like inexperienced as me could make even $100, much less $2,600, it was just flabbergasting. I was surprised, and I had so many obligations, because even though I live at home, I help my younger brother and I help my family as much as possible, which is why I had the job all throughout college in the first place. And then I also have full-time. I'm also a full-time student. I compete on my debate team at my university. There's plenty of things that I do, but throughout that time, I needed to find a way to make that money. And honestly, this is like the best way ever, for real.
Okay, first off, I've heard so much amazing information. So let's dig into that story a little bit, inspire some people. I think what we haven't even told people yet is you've only been a signing agent for 2 months.
Yeah.
So people watching this right now, you're able to scale this business from $0 to $2,600 in one calendar month. In your second month as being a signing agent, like wrap your head around that. How does that make you feel like you're able to scale this so quickly?
The time and the frequency definitely is surprising.
So, you have a full-time college schedule. How many units are you taking?
I believe around 15 or 16.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then you're on the debate team, and you have family obligations, and you're still able to make $2,600 on the side. The fact that you're only 21 years old and you've made $2,600 a month in part-time income. But I think what's really I want to hammer home on is you're only 21. So I want to help another 21-year-old, 19-year-old, or even 85-year-old, because the point I'm asking to talk through right now is age isn't relative in this business, right? It's just executing the document. So before we get to talking about the execution of documents, let's inspire another 21-year-old or even an 85-year-old that they can do this business. So my question to you, as a 21-year-old part-time signing agent who's doing $2,600 a month, do you feel like your age of being 21 is any hindrance of getting actual business?
Absolutely not, Mark. In fact, if I had discovered this when I was 18, I am confident that if I put the same amount of work that I did for the past 8 weeks, I would have had this business for 2, 3 years up until 21. It literally does not matter how old you are, 18 or 95. All that matters is that you are able to do the signings. There appears to be this myth that age, which usually, does equate to lack of experience, is going to equate to less signing opportunities. That's not true. Like, it's literally not true at all. I get plenty of signing opportunities that I have to deny because of school and other obligations. But if you really want, regardless of your age, and college is awesome because, like, I know that the broke college student, that's like a really very real thing. Trust me, I totally get that. Working paycheck to paycheck, I get that. All right, like, this is a great way to climb out of that hole. And if someone had told me what to Google search on the day that I Google searched it when I was 18, right out of high school, I would have started this immediately.
Let's talk why though. So like if there's someone who's 21 watching this right now, or someone who's 85, why isn't age relative to the way you get assigned appointments? Because the reason I ask that is I can talk about it all day long, but people think I'm trying to sell a course, and all I'm trying to do is help as many people as I can, because I think the signing agent industry is unbelievable because it doesn't matter age. So in your own words and your experience over the past 2 months, how come age is an issue on the way you get signings and the way they're actually assigned to you?
Well, very realistically, they don't ask or they don't really check. Even though you may have to put your birthday into the database, the first thing they look for is not how young is this person, because we don't want to assign them for it. They look for, is a notary available for this signing. That is literally what they look for. Right? They don't want to look through your age and sift through every single detail of your previous personal life. They just want to know if you are a capable notary of completing the assignment that they're about to assign for you. So literally, if you're in the area or within that radius, they will assign it to you, regardless of if you're 18 or 95. All right. Also, when you talk to loan officers, which I've done this month, right? No one asked me for my age, right? Like at all. Like all they asked me about details about the signing. They may have thanked me for the signing or given me constructive criticism, but there was no reference to my age at all. So no, if that is a very real myth where age equates to no signings, it's a very not real myth. No.
Yeah, and I love it. I love hearing it from you. And I think you said it. What I always say in all these videos on YouTube, is that they base your giving you the signing on your location. And so, granted, your age is in there, your birthday, so they can do some reverse match if they wanted to. But as long as you have the certain criteria, which I teach you in the course, you follow
Right.
certain. The only next criteria, which is like, just for edification from some new signing agents who are looking about this business, it's like having a certification, having proper errors and omissions insurance, having a notary commission, having a background check, all the kind of the standard things. As long as you have those 3 or 4 standard items, now all they're basing it off is location. And then that has nothing to do with age. It's closest to the appointment gets the opportunity. And you said it best, and I always say this, and I love hearing it from you, is they're just looking for a notary that's available. It's available because they're in such high pressure of getting these notaries or getting these files assigned to notaries that it is really the best business in America, because you're getting hired based on location, not on age or not on being male or female, not on ethnicity. It is if you can do the job, you can get the appointment. And I love
No,
that you're saying that out loud as well.
no, yeah, definitely the case, Mark.
I love it. So let's talk about the other side of it, right? Because I think there's a little bit of intimidation from someone. Our youngest student's 19 years old, and there's some students who are out there who are 19, 20, 21, 22, who might be like, okay, I get it, Eugene, I can get appointments based on location, not my age, but how do the borrowers treat me when I'm actually there? Like, talk about maybe some of the intimidation you may or may not have, which I don't know yet, early on, about going into a borrower's house, being 21 years old, and not having any mortgage industry, being a college student full time. Do borrowers treat you with respect? I mean, I don't want to answer this question for you, so kind of talk about how that is when you're actually going into an appointment.
Sure. So, to whichever college students that are listening, I think that honestly, it's going to be a lot that's going on in your head, and you may think that the borrowers are looking down on you because of your age, because you may think that they suddenly know your age just through looking right at you, right? That's usually not the case. I don't think I've had any signing of the 30 I did this month or the 8 I did last month, where age was mentioned at all. Sure, they may give like a little bit of a surprised look, because let's face it, you don't see a lot of people like us, college student to college student, walking in and knowing about mortgage documents. But the moment that you sit down, right, and you start to go through the settlement statement, which you've put at the top because that's exactly how we're taught to do, all right, and you're able to point where everything is on the settlement statement, where the loan amount is, where the aggregate adjustment is, so on and so forth, and you're able to explain all these different obscure legal documents, which, I mean, 21-year-olds honestly shouldn't know. So it's like really cool that you are able to do this if you've gone through this course, right? Like they do trust you like right away, because the truth is, and I think this is very real, like they don't have much, borrowers don't typically have much mortgage experience either, right? And because we are extensions of the escrow office, like most borrowers don't know that I'm contracted by a signing service, right? So they really do see us as extensions of the escrow office. They are assuming that we know what we're talking about, you know? And that's the first thing that they put forward, regardless of age. Maybe it clicks a little bit in their head, but it's immediately gone the moment you just start showing them through the docs.
And I teach all you, knowledge equals credibility. Age doesn't equal credibility, it is knowledge, and you can learn the knowledge. I love you saying that, by the way, man. Is the moment you start showing off your knowledge, immediate credibility. And all somebody wants to do is to feel comfortable that you know what you're doing, not relative to age at all. And so that was like an amazing answer. Thank you for being so detailed in that, because it is the truth. Is once you're going over the settlement exhibit, like you said, what I teach in the course is a very systematic way to control the signing and a very systematic way to create credibility. So even if you're 40, nobody cares what your age is. They care, can you execute the documents? Can you briefly describe the documents in a manner which I feel comfortable to the borrower? And the fact that you're 21 and doing that and making them feel borrow is just another, proof that this industry is truly, truly amazing. And I love what you said earlier about, like, I wish I would have learned this at 18, because you would have been in already.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh my God. This can change your life so much. Student debt can be crushing. All right. It's not just student debt. You got like food. Maybe you're splitting a room with like 3 roommates. There's a bunch of expenses that you car insurance, all right, and gas. There's a bunch of expenses, and like there is no part-time job like that I could personally think of, unless like, I don't know, you have a lot of already existing capital that's going to get you to pay for most of these expenses. But this is literally it. I wish I started this at 18, Mark. I really do.
I'm just so glad you're here, man. I mean, this is amazing. You've been able to scale this in 2 months. Would take some signing agents years to do. And I always tell you students on these interviews, I take no credit for it, man. I'm just the coach. The players make the plays. And so I'm proud of you that you're able to scale this. I can only imagine where your business is going to be in 2 years. I know you have other plans of going to law school, but this is going to be a great part-time income while you're going to law school. And I know law school is not cheap. And so, I have friends who went to law school. I'm like, oh my gosh, well, how much are you in debt? So this is gonna be a good way of keeping those costs down and that debt down. And I think it's a great way to maybe keep those student loans from being as high as you may have them are. But I'll kind of end with this with the age is, I want anybody who is older watching this, who is wise in those wise years of 60, 65, 70, 75. The same thing applies to that age bracket, which is, you're not hired based on age. No one knows that you're 70. No one knows you were 21, and all they care about is you executing the job. And you can proven that you can be this and be a full-time college student, taking 16 units, being on the debate team, having family responsibilities, and making $2,600 a month around your college schedule. That is insane. I'm so happy for you and your family, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Welcome. Okay, so let's kind of jump into the next part of this, is let's talk about that journey. What I think is really inspiring about your journey also is the fact that you're 21 and you now have direct relationships with loan officers and escrow officers, proving that age is nothing in this industry. It's all about your ability to execute signings and do the job right. So let's take people through the journey. You've been a loan signing system student for a whopping 2 months. Now, you have been a notary for 2 years, but just because you're notary commission doesn't mean that you know the knowledge of the loan signing stuff. So while you've had your notary commission for 2 years, you've only been in the signing agent industry for 2 months. You got my course 2 months ago. So let's talk about kind of your journey to inspire another 21 on how quick you ramp this, or inspire any one of our students, because you've ramped this pretty quickly in a part-time business. So let's talk about your journey.
Sure. So yeah, I was a notary for 2 years, but I didn't do any general notary work. I didn't travel anywhere. I worked for like a private mailbox shop that also had a notary, so they had me get my notary commission. So I have never used my license up until you, Mark, to get money on the side. And actually, just recently, I actually put my 2 weeks in for that job, because I'm confident that I can keep on scaling this business up. And it's just so. I said empowering, and I'm going to keep on using that word because it is empowering. Here's how my journey started. So it was around New Year's. It was a couple of days before New Year's. So I also power lift. That's like where you lift really heavy weights for your body size, right? So I did a lot of that, and I ended up tearing my shoulder benching. And I was kind of laying in bed, and I realized that I wasn't going to be able to do much, So I was researching, because I know that like law school applications were coming up. I was researching how to make money, and that's when I came across your course around January 1st. And I think it was within a couple of hours of watching your videos, I enrolled in the course, then like tried to power through as much of the course as possible. But then obligations came up for like 2 weeks, where I had school, family, that part-time job at the time, right? So I actually didn't really touch the course for maybe 2 weeks. I maybe like here and there, but very little amounts. And then when I finally had more time in the middle of January, I completed the course, and then I signed up for some signing services, got my first signing in a couple of days. I only did like 7 or 8. And I made sure, like I really made sure that I had internalized everything that you taught us, even if the appointment did take 2 hours, and the first one did take 2 hours. I was able to get through them because I handled myself well in creating the relationship with the borrower and with the signing service. So no, it didn't really ramp up until February.
Let's talk about January. So this is great because I just want to make sure you go are following your story here. So January, you bought the course January 1st, more or less.
Yeah.
And it's now February just ended. If you're watching this in the past on YouTube, so February just ended. So he's 2 months in the business. So the first month of January, you bought the course, and the first 2 weeks, it took you 2 weeks to get through the course. And I think that's real. A lot of people feel like they need to buy the course and they need to go through it in a day. You had life happen, and so I think that's a really cool, real journey. It's not like you get the course 6 hours later, done with the course, you're making money the next day, right? It was 2 weeks it took you to get through the course. I think is really cool as far as being real about the journey you've embarked upon. And then mid January or 2 weeks in, you start doing everything I taught you in the course, right? Who to sign up with. And there's something you say which I think is very funny. I've only done 8 signings my first month. Like, you've never been a signing agent before, and in your first month you've done 8 closings. I think that's amazing. I don't think there's any only about it. I think the fact you did 8 is you have after 30 days, your investment basically has been paid back on being a signing agent. That's after month number 1. Like, that's incredible. What other business in America can you recoup your cost of investment and make them profitable after 30 days in a business you've never been a part of?
Yeah, I mean, unless you win the lottery, I can't think of another business.
And so I want to make sure you understand how amazing your journey is. I don't want you to downplay that, man. The journey is phenomenal. So, okay, cool. So month number 1, you worked for signing services. You did everything I told you to do as far as what's in the course. You got your business. Let's talk about your last 30 days, which is $2,600. And now what I think is also inspiring, once again, is you started reaching out to escrow officers and loan officers at the age of 21. So kind of talk about that. Let's start with this question. How many signings did you do in the month of February?
I did 30.
30 signings.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that's incredible, right? Okay, so let's talk
I'm
about
very happy.
journey in February. You go.
Okay, so Mark posted on Facebook, I think it was, I don't remember how long ago, but basically he had partnered up with Signature Closers. Signature Closers is actually where I get a majority of my business from. Love you guys. Hope you're watching. I sent them my my LSS certificate, which I hadn't done previously because I did sign up for the middle of January, but I wasn't getting much from them. Sent them my LSS certificate because I saw the post, and they must have bumped me up another tier because I started getting notification after notification after notification. Like Mark, like my phone was blowing up almost all the time. That could be because I live in Los Angeles, but my radius was like 50, 60 miles, so I definitely went to a lot of really small towns. So I don't think living in a metropolitan city determines whether you're going to get signings. You can get it pretty much anywhere. And I was like, wow, this is like insane. Everything is, it's blowing up. And all I had to do was, accept the signing. Now, there were times that I couldn't, and I mean, other college students who are watching this, you'll get it. It's a little challenging to accept signings in class. I've done it maybe once or twice. I'm not gonna lie. Like now what I do is I'll be taking notes and I'll have my phone to the side. So like when a signing comes up, like I'll subconsciously tap it, look at the schedule date to see if I can if it meets my schedule, and then click accept. So I did create a system which allows me to still pay attention to class, but still definitely within the first couple of weeks, I was like, I can't not focus on school and also do this, right? But also sometimes you're taking a test, or the professor's talking about something extremely intriguing and you're just not paying attention to your phone. And I probably missed 40% of my signings, and it's just knowing that if I had more time available, I could have made so much more. I could have done so many more signings, created more relationships. That's pretty insane. A great thing about my journey though is I reached out to Signature Closer scheduling team a lot. I tried to have as much personal conversations with them as possible, and that seemed to work out pretty well for me. It was just about talking to people. I tried to talk to as many people as possible: loan officers, escrow officers, signing services. It really was just talking to people.
Well, first off, I probably sound like a broken record in every single one of these interviews, but all you students that I'm interviewing are successful for a reason, because you implement everything you're learning. Everything I teach you that you do, and I can't take credit for that because some students take the course and they're just not implementing as much as let's say you are, but the fact that you're calling them up and the fact you're creating relationships, the fact that you're chasing the relationship and not the money, those are all loan signing system values. And for signing agents who are not LSS students, I hope you listen to Eugene. He just dropped some fire. He dropped loan signing system nuggets that if you know what to listen for, these interviews are absolutely amazing, giving stuff away that's in the course. But I do these interviews to inspire people, and I hope even if they don't become students, I hope they get inspired by you and your age and the fact that you actually are implementing every single thing you're learning. And what I want to kind of hammer home the point of is, even though you're young, you still get the value of creating relationships. And that's what I really teach on how to create those and how to really mature those relationships. And the fact that you're doing it, man, is all you. And so once again, you're so young, but you are mature beyond your years when it comes to a business sense. And I just want to say I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to watch your growth. And while you're going through law school, and having a $5,000 a month business while going to law school, and this is going to be amazing to watch the growth of your business. But I just want to say I'm proud of you again, because you're actually following what you're learning, and it seems easy. You know what I mean? I always tell students, like, that's in the course, you know what I mean? But the fact that you're doing makes me so proud as a teacher and a mentor. And I just want to make sure that you understand how, honestly, that's a really good personality trait to have. And I'm really excited about watching your career unfold in this industry. But like I said, going back to your journey, you started reaching out to loan officers and escrow officers, kind of what part? And the reason I want to ask is we have students who have been in our system for a year and a half, 2 years, who still are, I don't want to use the word scared, maybe intimidated to kind of take that leap of faith and reaching out. You've done that after like 6 weeks of being a signing agent, man. That's awesome. So talk about reaching out to loan officers and escrow officers and kind of like, the intimidation or lack of intimidation and getting these direct connections.
Okay, yeah. So I'll tell you this, and maybe I can't tell if the younger crowd will feel this a lot more, but I'm not used to dealing with too many business professionals, up until now. So when I started talking to these loan officers and escrow officers over the phone, I kind of assumed that they were these like TV-esque corporate people, right? That had corporate personalities and like weren't human. And if the escrow officers that I spoke to are watching this right now, I do think that you're human. I really do. All right. I guess the intimidating part was like, because I am very young, I thought that because these escrow officers likely had years of experience, not just business experience, but life experience on me, that they may not take me seriously, or they weren't like, not people, but like their personality was like different. It was more like organized. It was always in that business sense. But one thing that I noticed is that they, for lack of a better word, escrow officers, loan officers, the people that you can make relationships with in this business are very human. I think that the first escrow officer that I spoke to for like a good 20 minutes, we talked about different college majors and how she majored in business, right? And like how that led her to like escrow and post closing and so on and so forth. And like we talked about the Super Bowl and like her family, right? Like these are very real people, and you don't have to be 21 or 95 to like interact with them. They're very real, like genuine people, And
first off, that's probably, whether you're 45 or 21, people get intimidated just because, like you said, they almost put these escrow officers or loan officers on a different plateau, and they're just like us. And what I want to make sure that another 21-year-old's hearing, and you are wise beyond your years, by the way, and I think, there's like 3 things I want to say. So the first thing I want to say is, I teach being authentic. I teach being real. I don't teach you to fake it till you make it. That's not a loan signing system mantra. The fact that you're open up and you're telling these escrow officers, I'm in college, that actually, everyone wants to help somebody else. And so the fact that she, the escrow officer you speak of, was jumping into her own college education, and they see themselves in you and like, oh my gosh, I was 21 once, I was in college once. And the people you'll find that people just want to help you if you're just honest and upfront and authentic. And that's what I teach you guys, is just be real, no matter what your life experience is or lack thereof. If you're honest with somebody, most people have always been in your shoes or can relate to some certain degree, right? I tell our students who have, children, just tell them you have children. You can't do all the signings. I'm willing to bet $1 donuts, they probably have children too, So the point is, you did something that's wise beyond your years, and that's just bringing up topics that people can relate to. So I want to congratulate you on that. And number 2, I want to make sure that, I'm pointing out, or you're pointing out, that, even though you're 21, they just be real, and you're confident in your skill set. If they know you can execute a signing, you're going to get those direct relationships. So I just want to say what a great little conversation we had right there, because that conversation can relate to someone who's 45. They're just people, period. You know, they're just humans and they just want to have interaction. If you chase a relationship, the money always follows. And that's what you're doing, man. You're talking about the Super Bowl. You're talking about your college and you're chasing the relationship. And I just want to say, so proud of you, man. I get so juiced up on these interviews when I hear you guys' stories. Like, it makes me so happy. Okay, so so you're reaching out to escrow officers, you're reaching out to loan officers, and not to beat a dead horse, but let's talk about some of the loan officers you've reached out to. Like, is age any determining factor? Or I mean, kind of communicate through that part of it too, to inspire someone else who's a college student or 65.
Yeah. So actually, while you were explaining that, I thought of something like I thought of a really solid piece of advice that like I like to give when it comes to age. I don't think that these loan officers, and it goes directly into answering your question, I don't think these loan officers are used to any notary reaching out to them, yet alone like a young notary reaching out to them. You know, that they probably see college students, you know, because you hear all the stories in the media about millennials and the stereotypes behind that. You know, also like college students, because of their lack of experience, they may be more afraid to take that leap. Right? So it's extremely unlikely that a loan officer is going to have a typical conversation with a college student. So just like the fact that you're reaching out alone at our age is just super cool. I promise you, like, it's noted. Most of the time, and in fact, I've never been asked for my age, but if they can tell based on the sound of my voice, because I think I do sound young, I hope, like, they've never noted that as a bad thing, right? And I would put money on the fact that they find it more admirable that being so young and inexperienced, we're pushing ourselves to kind of make that relationship and jump forward, even though it's like really scary because, like, you know, we may not have that experience at all, right? But I mean, I'm sure they were in that position at one point too. Like you said, they had to jump forward and make that experience, that relationship, right? So it's kind of like it's like a nostalgia thing for them. You know what I
Love
mean?
it. No, I mean, honestly, I hope this inspires, regardless what age you are, that you should go out and get the direct business. You're 2 months into this business. You're like 60th day just passed, I think yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
insane. If you can do it, you think anyone could do this business?
100%. Yeah. 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 It's
I
hard
love it.
work. It's not like you don't have to be like Einsteinian to do it. You know, it's like just really hard work, listening, paying attention. You always talk about not reinventing the wheel. That's literally it.
I love it, man. So yeah, I mean, let's get to the next question. I think, I mean, first off, I hope people are hearing the knowledge that you are dropping. I try not, whether people take the loan signing system or not, you gave some loan signing system nuggets away. So I hope people are really getting value out of this. And the fact that, like, my favorite nugget is that, people are just people, and that's just the really truth. So let's go into the third question I always ask you students is, what's one piece of advice you would give a new signing agent? I say new because you're still new, or any signing agent that'll help grow their business.
Okay, so don't take me as like the poster child for the loan signing system when I say this, but one of the big things that I found helpful in taking your course is getting access to the Facebook community, right? So the biggest piece of advice, like the tagline for it, is don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, that is just so revolutionary. Throughout my first month, there's a woman in the course. Her name is Michelle Richardson. Hi, Michelle. I know you're watching this. She helped me throughout like every single signing of those 8 signings that I did my first month. She helped me through most of them and still helps me now, even though I have more experience. Reaching out like changed everything. And there were different people in the Facebook community that I did reach out to. No one is like so great or so above that they are too good to, like, not get help. I think that one of the greatest things is just like understanding that independence isn't this like radical desire to be free. It's just the ability to choose when to be dependent or not be dependent. And like, you do need help in life. Like, that's just how it is. And I think that because I got a lot of help, I created these mentorship relationships, more relationship building, right? I was able to scale the business a lot quicker, because I felt more confident in what I was doing now that I had it affirmed by someone who had a lot more experience, life or business than me. Like, so really, if you're struggling, if you have questions, talk to someone about it, especially in this community, because it will change everything for you.
I love it. There's so many, like I said, you were wise beyond your years, man. You're so well spoken. I mean, shoot, you're pre-law. So, I mean, but, you're wise beyond your years, which I love. There's a few things I want to say, and these aren't meant to be huge loan signing system commercials. They're meant to be a commercial for the industry, not the course per se. But I think you brought up a very good point is, we have a community of signing agents, thousands of them that work together. And, I know a lot of LSS students watch this. And so what I think you're trying, so I want to speak to an LSS student as well as someone who's not an LSS student. So if you're an LSS student, what I want to say is there's a lot of people in the signing agent, in our loan signing system Facebook group that don't ask questions, who don't reach out on a one-on-one basis because they're intimidated. They're afraid they're going to look quote unquote dumb, or they're afraid to because they think that someone's not going to help them. And our group specifically realizes that a rising tide lifts all ships. Our community understands that there is business literally for everyone. Our community is more than willing to happy to help another fellow signing agent. And so what I'm trying to speak to an LSS student right now is, please reach out to people. They're there to help you. They're there to help, because here's the honest truth is I was a rookie signing agent 16 years ago. So I forget what it's like to be a brand new signing agent. But the cool part about the community is there's a lot of people in the exact same shoes as you, or who are just in the same shoes as you. So not being afraid to ask for help is a really big key. So if you're a loan signing system student, you're brand new, don't be afraid to help out to another one of our members, because everyone's just like you. And I think your good piece of advice is for people who are even not LSS students. It's like some people are afraid to take my course because they don't want to take my course because it makes them look like they don't know what they're doing, or they're afraid to ask for help. But I love the idea that you understand truly that you don't need to reinvent the wheel. There's been a rookie signing agent like you. Why don't you ask them what happened and how they got through it? And then you took my course because you realize that I could help you build a business. So I think the idea that a lot of people are afraid to ask for help, and they don't, because a lot of things hold them back, ultimately prevents them from scaling a business. And I love how you're giving Michelle. Michelle, let me give you some props as well. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's the loan signing system way of, Michelle, you credit Michelle of helping you scale so quickly. And that's all I want for all you guys, and I tell you guys, I don't think I'm the only person in the world that can build a signing agent business. At this point of the community, I just put you guys in a group together, and everyone else can help each other. And now you have what you have. So I think that's really honest and raw, that, asking for help, you weren't intimidated by that, and trying to encourage other people to do that, I think is really cool.
Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so let's kind of go into the last thing of the interview, which I ask is, because you're a whole whopping 60 days old as being a signing agent. Right. So, there's a lot of people out there who are looking to be a signing agent, and they're nervous. So like, okay, they have this one thing stuck in their head. So I ask this of everyone to maybe help that person who might have the same thought as you. So what is something you were nervous about when you started 60 days ago? Now today, looking back on your journey, you're just like, I don't know why I was nervous about that at all.
Okay, so I actually know exactly what I want to say here, because it was something very real. I personally, I was really afraid for my first signing that I wasn't able to explain all the documents. And I know that there was a segment in your course where you talk about how new documents are going to appear, but most of them, if not all of them, are self-explanatory as long as you just read through it. Well, through my first couple of signings, it was definitely very intimidating to take the time and to read through the document and then explain it back. But now new documents come up all the time, and all I do is I just say, hey, this is actually a new document. Let me really quickly read it. Take 3 minutes to read it. Oh, okay, this is all this is saying. All right, because once you've established that credibility with them, when it comes to all the main documents, the deed of trust, a PCOR, a settlement statement, right? You're still human. You get that new documents come up, so just talk to them, tell them that it's a new document. So that, I think that's definitely the thing that intimidated me the most, but I overcame it by just being real. Yeah.
I love it. You ended it so good by just being real. That is the loan signing system way, man. Authenticity. And I love how you just own it, right? You just own your youngness. You own your inexperience. And when when you're honest with people, they are amazingly receptive. And so, if you're a 45-year-old LSS student for the very first time, and this is your first signing, you can go into it saying, this is my first signing, but I'm going to do my best to get through this. I've been trained. I can do it. And once someone knows that, they become so much more empathetic, maybe is the appropriate word, right? And understanding. And you'd be surprised or shocked at how welcoming people are if you're just kind of like, look, I've never seen this piece of paper before. So give me a couple minutes. I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to tell you what it says. And I think that's such a good piece of thing. And another point I want to drive home for all signing agents is the fact that, look, we're going to get new documents. We're in the financial industry, and they're all self-explanatory. slow down. No one's judging you that this appointment takes an hour and 15 minutes. No one's judging you to take an hour and a half. And the fact that you just kind of embrace that early on is really, really cool. So anything else you want to add to that point?
No, I mean, I think the real thing to hammer home, and to a specific audience, it's more people that are exactly like me, college students. Like this is like a true saving grace. Like if you just take the time, it may have taken me 2 weeks, it may take you a day, it may take you a month. Like if you take the time, like to learn how to do this, this could be like completely life changing for you. And the kind of debt you could pay back, the kind of way you can handle all of your college expenses, honestly, but and the discipline that you get from learning the course and how you can apply that to school, like it's just all around such a great experience. And like I really truly do wish that I discovered this when I was 18.
I love it, man. And thank you for saying that, because, I think a lot of people on the outside think I only teach signing agent tactics, but I teach mindset and understanding how to run a business, because like you said, the good signing agents are business owners first, signing agents second.
Yeah.
So if you learn how to run a business, you can run any business in America, not just being a signing agent. And you're being set up for such a great career when you're eventually when you have your own law firm, you're running your own business, right? And so you're running your business now in college. So one day when you have your law firm, you're going to learn the exact same principles you're applying now into your law firm career, man. And so I'm super happy. I'm going to end with this, man. Is there any last words of inspiration you want to leave anybody right now?
Let's go. Y'all always do that. I don't know. I just love to do that.
I love it. Let's go. Man, thank you for taking time out of your day today. Just for the record, this interview was scheduled for about a half hour later, but Eugene texted me like, look, I have a meeting with the loan officer I'm trying to get business from. Can we push your meeting back? Just to show you, this is on a Sunday afternoon that Eugene's given with us, but just to give you an insight into what a successful signing agent does. It's Sunday afternoon. He's 21 years old, 2 months in the business, and he's out on a Sunday trying to create a relationship with a loan officer. And that's how you get direct business, through building relationships. So Eugene, man, it's been a pleasure going through this with you. Thank you so much for inspiring everybody, regardless of age. Until next time, man, I'll see you later. Bye.
Thank you so much, Mark.